the Faniac is back, and I welcome you to Spook-tober. Yeah, sorry, I had to do that. So I'm going to do something a little different where I'm going to try my best to put out a little review every week where I talk about something Halloween related. Hey, it's the month of Halloween, it's October, I love Halloween, it's one of my favorite holidays. Why not do some movie reviews this month, eh? And with all this new stuff coming out, I thought, why not better yet to start now? And of course, what better way to start out the month of Spook-tober, as the Faniac presents his take on the new Marvel's Werewolf by Night. So, some background information. This is a, how do I put this? So those who grew up reading like the more darker zombie variant comics, or read about the Man-Thing and the Monster Squad in terms of the Marvel comics, this is more your type of area. And this is from film composer Michael Giacchino, who recently worked on the Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and Thor: Love and Thunder theme compositions. He also did the music for this. And he also directed it. So this is his first directed attempt after spanning decades and decades of film composing, which provides the soundtrack for any film made in the media and TV today. So this is actually pretty cool to see this. And I do want to say that because this is his first movie on this scale, and it never felt like that. This guy clearly has an understanding of magic behind the camera. He clearly understands what to keep in the frame, how to emit emotion out of you, and more importantly, he seems to know a good job. The actors in this are really good. Everyone is playing their part the way I would envision something like Werewolf by Night would play out. And this is really good. I really like this, but of course you want to know the story. What's my take without knowing the story? Well, spoilers ahead for those who don't know. Werewolf by Night is about a guy named Jack who happens to be a quote-unquote monster hunter who joins a hunt after finding out that famed monster hunter Bloodstone has recently passed away and is about to give away the Bloodstone. Yeah, Bloodstone's gonna be all over this, just so you know. Then again, though, good news is you get Elsa Bloodstone in this. For those who know the comics, she's a freaking badass who I love. Though not in that way. In terms of like her style, her character in the comics and how she is, she's freaking awesome. She's more or less like that. She doesn't look anything like at all like her comic part. But then again, considering how Marvel has a way of not exactly following the costume designs, that never bothered me. But she was pretty good. The actress playing her, I think it's Laura Donnelly. She does really, really good with what she's given and what they're told to do. So it never came across as like phoned in or her not being experienced or anything. Or maybe they don't know how to, like, she wasn't given a good script. No. It was all good. They all did their best. And Gael Garcia Bernal, he's probably the real standout here. He plays the werewolf in this, Jack. So that was really fun. It was outstanding. Sorry, I'm straying off track. Okay, point being is that his character, Jack, is going to this monster hunt in order to obtain the Bloodstone that was founded by, or was handed, who Elsa Bloodstone's father. She technically has the rights to it, but because she didn't exactly follow in his footsteps, she technically has to play the game. And essentially the game is that the amulet is going to be attached to a monster. They all have to hunt. And then they go and hunt. The twist is that the monster is, drumroll please, Man-Thing. Oh crap, I've been waiting for this. Thank you, Marvel, for actually doing justice to a great Marvel character. And I want to say this, because I never thought I would say this in a Marvel TV project, but holy crap, his effect was amazing. Not in terms of like towards the end, like when they have where he sits down with one of the characters, and he talks with them, I legit thought he was really there. I don't know, like, it looked like it was an animatronic, but I could still tell there were, like, some CGI movements. I was, like, confused for a sec. Like, it was really well blended in. I was, like, I think I could touch it for a second. It looked really, really good, that effect, towards the end. That's just my thing right there. It's just so off-putting to see a really good effect in a Marvel project nowadays. So I need to give praise where praise needs to be given. So do note that the effect from Man-Thing is really freaking good. His character, I love. And they do keep it true to the fact that all fear the touch of the Man-Thing. So, but I actually do love they take it to the next level. Instead of just having him, like, burns. No, he legit kills people by burning them alive. Like, some of the monster, there's a lot of good gruesome deaths, surprisingly. So this was rated TV-14, and I don't know, like, I got into Multiverse of Madness, partially for me, because of how well Sam Raimi blends his style of camp with scares, which is unusual for a horror movie, for a Marvel movie, at that. And Giacchino's tribute and allusions to 1930s classic horror movies. Like, clearly, Swamp Thing is probably alluding to Creature Within Black Lagoon, and then the style and the camp of it is probably related to the Hammer films and the originals, like Frankenstein, Dracula, whatnot. So, again, the style, and it even looks like a legit film reel. Like, I'm watching and I could see, like, the dust and the grain and stuff, and it looks amazing. I legit could have believed this was done on film. I know it wasn't, but you could have fooled me if I did not know that going in. So, I gotta give props to that, again. The style of this is really interesting. It's done in black and white. Until, spoiler, the end, they do go to color, and for some weird reason they play Judy Garland's Over the Rainbow from Wizard of Oz. I have no idea why. And somehow I still can't picture the ending without it, because it's just so weird to watch this movie and hear that song at the end. It's so, I don't know, it's weird, but still can't imagine what it's weird that way. It's like, once you hear it, with the way it's being, you can't imagine without it. It's weird. But anyways, in terms of what actually happens is that the goal is to free Man-Thing, because apparently Jack is friends with Man-Thing, which is awesome on all sorts of levels. Especially when we find out, of course, Jack is the werewolf. Everyone finds out. And then he's put in a cage. The hunt is called to a somewhat halt. As some of the monster hunters are killed, Elsa was helping Jack until she found out he was a werewolf. And then they locked them both in a cage and then used the amulet to immediately turn him into a werewolf, despite the next full moon being 5 days later. That's a question I do have to ask. Since our werewolf lore, I guess, exists. I'll get to that later. But they actually do this really cool thing. They actually have legit makeup on him to play half a werewolf, which is freaking awesome. Love they did that. And I will say, this is where it actually gets pretty interesting. Like there's a good body count. I was surprised. I was legit surprised going in that a Marvel project like this standard had this much blood, gore, and high a body count. It was really surprising. And I guess it's even more surprising that this is rated TV-14. And I don't know, but I'm thinking that maybe Giacchino chose the black and white style to almost get away with the TV-14 rating, because it's like he knew going in, now I want my blood, but I do want everyone to watch it. What's a good way to do it? Yes, black and white. No one can tell it black and white. Because that's the weird rule of thumb with the MPAA and television, Disney Plus Media or something. I don't know, it's weird. So it's like, you can have someone getting chopped in half or slit by a throat, and so long as the blood color is not red, you can technically have it be PG-13 or PG? Somehow? It's weird how the rating system works nowadays, but screw it. The film, or TV special, actually, is done really well. The fact that it's this well directed for Giacchino's very first round at directing, his first job, is really good. I can clearly tell he's a fan of monster movies. With the way it's shot, the way it's acted, and the way it all comes together is really good. It ends on a very good body count where Elsa does get the Bloodstone and she now has control of the manor. And Jack sits outside with the Man-Thing as they just discuss their future dating plans. Like, you want to go for sushi? Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Point being, though, is that, okay, I guess now I should talk about the nitpicks. I'm not saying they're actual problems, they're just sort of nitpicks I can just take from this. So, the worst I can say about this is that I wish this was filmed in a 4:3 format. Like, the aspect ratio for this was done in widescreen, so it looks wide, of course, on your screen. But since they're trying to homage and allude to other horror films, I can't help but thinking, why didn't they do this in 4:3? Because that was the standard format for them. So if they truly want to homage and honor them, I would assume they would know the ratio and film it like that. I know I would. Like, when I'm making my films, if I'm going to film something in black and white, I always try my best to make it 4:3 because it looks pristine, it looks clean. It adds that film rule, it adds that sense of grit and realism to it. I love it. Like, watch Zack Snyder's Justice League in black and white, and it's a whole different level. 4:3, black and white, it's just a standard, so, like, for me. And that's just the way I see it. So that kind of threw me off that it was in widescreen as opposed to 4:3. And I guess the only other thing I could pick apart is the werewolf lore. Because I guess since it wasn't a full moon, and since he got turned into a werewolf, well, how long does he stay a werewolf? Like, since there's no full moon outside, does he just stay a werewolf until the sun comes up? Or I assume that, like, since there's a full moon, and most media, you look at the moon like, oh god, it's the moon, I gotta turn into a werewolf because I can't hold this any longer. And so I always assume that since that's the case, like, you see the moon, so when you see the moon go down, you're back to a human or something. But there's no full moon in this, so I just assume, or we're led to assume that, I guess he turns back to human off screen when the sun rises? And Man-Thing somehow found him? I don't know. I'm just glad this actually turned out to be as good as it is, and the best part is, I honestly could have bought it not being a Marvel project. It's so different and so unique and kept in its own little pocket bubble. I swore it could have come from another company. Like, if you told me, like, DC Comics or, like, Warner Brothers or something, like, decided to do a campy horror send-up on a streaming service, I could have bought that for a sec. I really could have. It is different by the Marvel quota and by the Marvel standard, to the point of which I can't help but recommend this. Yeah, I have little nitpicks, but that doesn't matter if the overall project is tightly written, perfectly paced, and gratefully, immensely, carefully directed by a guy who knows his craft and knows exactly what to emit from the audience behind the camera. That is an important tool in filmmaking genre. So, as is, I'm going to award Werewolf by Night 5 out of 5 lightsabers. It is great. It is amazing. I have my little nitpicks with it, but again, at the end of the day, I don't see them as a big deal, as a big distraction. Like, I don't care at the end. I like the final product. And I agree with critics saying that because of how different it is, they would like to see more. And personally, I would love to see more of this type of world they constructed here. Personally, I really, really would. And, that's what my thoughts on Werewolf by Night. I really liked it, did you? Please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try to do more videos for Spook-tober as I possibly can. Please like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts about this down below. If you would like me to maybe review something horror related in terms of the month of Halloween, do you have any recommendations? Something I can check out? Maybe I'll try my best to work it into this month of review. For now, take care, and may the frights be with you.